Huh. Hi, I'm just trying to find my camera. Hold on one second. Oh, I know why. Okay, I'm in a new place and okay, that should do it. Hopefully. There we go.
There you are.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay. Getting used to this new office that I have partial use to. So, how are you?
Good. I'm tired. I had a long day.
Today is Monday, so you worked today.
Yeah.
I can
And it
understand.
wasn't very busy, which is why it was a long day. It's harder when it's not busy.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, wow. What's the weather like?
Today was gorgeous. It was like 62 degrees or something. A little
Wow.
windy and cloudy, but gorgeous. Got sunny in the afternoon.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
Spring is
I
coming, right?
wanted to go skiing tomorrow, but I can't. So
Oh, how come?
I just have a lot going on, different appointments, and
Yeah.
have to take my friend to one of her appointments, that friend I told you about that I'm still dealing with.
Wow. Okay. Hi, Mindy. Looks like you're connecting to audio, Mindy. Hopefully Joe will join us. He's flying back from Tampa. Oh, there you are. Hi there. Mindy, we see you. Do you see us? Hmm. Let me ask you to unmute. Okay, I asked you to unmute.
Did it work?
Yes, now we can hear you. Hi there.
Hi. I don't see anybody else. Is there a reason for that?
Turn on your, well, we see you.
Good. That's the most important thing. Okay. There we go. There we go. Is it just you, Stephanie, and me again?
So
Well,
far,
we're waiting for Joe,
Okay.
and I haven't, I'm hoping Barry and Cindy join us. I didn't hear otherwise.
Okay.
I know Barry went skiing. I just saw her comment. I mean, I know she went
Oh.
skiing and amazing. Her first time, I think, since her hip replacement.
yeah, that's what
And
she said.
Cool.
yeah, and she said something about ski pants. So I'm wondering if she bought new ski pants with her new body.
No, I think she was saying that her ski pants fit.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Um,
Well,
I just want to let you know so you don't think I'm strange. I just got home this very second and I have to I'm making dinner for three other people this evening. I have my cousins here. So I'm just gonna put the oven on and prepare some potatoes and kind of do everything at the same time. I'm gonna do
okay, maybe you can turn off your camera then, because it could be distracting.
sure.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, just pipe
I'm
in.
gonna I'm gonna do it toward the beginning, so
All
but I'll
right, well
let you
then
get
join again.
started first. I'm
Join
just gonna
again with
turn
your
on the
camera when
just
you
have
sit
to
down.
turn on the oven.
Um, okay,
Your hair
well,
looks great.
who, me?
Yeah,
I actually put it back in a clip.
it looks nice.
Thank you. I was out early this morning. I saw Mindy at the gym, and then I had to bring my car in, and I didn't wear makeup all day, and I decided just to put my hair back, put on earrings and a little bit of lipstick, and there you go.
That's it. That's
One,
good.
two, three, you're ready.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's pretty awesome. I'm looking, I mean, everybody has lost a significant amount of weight. Mostly, I would say for the first timers, I would say like between 10 and 15 pounds. So
Awesome.
it's interesting. We'll wait till Barry can speak for herself, but if she fit into her old ski pants, maybe they're overalls and they're pretty, what's the word? Forgiving. But anyway, I'm looking forward to hearing how that went for her. Um, okay, good. So let's start with, we have a lot to cover today. Let's start with a celebration.
Oh, you want us to
Yeah,
talk?
why don't you talk first since you'll be busy in a few minutes?
Okay. Um, well, I think the most notable thing for me is that, and I can't remember this from the first time, but it must have happened as well, that I made a shift into feeling incredible. Like all of a sudden, my sleep got really better, like really better, like so much that I was sleeping through the fact that I had to go to the bathroom.
Wow.
And um and my energy level and I always this happened the last time too. I have zero heartburn, which is so wonderful, but that happened the first time. This time I just feel like my muscles are so lubricated.
Uh-huh.
It's just I feel this ease of movement that I have not felt. I'm going to say I feel better now at almost 70 than I felt when I was 35.
Wow.
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 So,
That,
so what are you going to do after this 10 weeks is over?
I don't know. Like I said, this is what I'm working on. This was the whole purpose, really, of this time going through the diet is to, and that's what I said the first day is, basically, and this is no secret to Wynne, I have an eating disorder. I always have. I have since I'm a child. And yeah, I mean, I know everything about emotional eating, or emotionally not eating. I was never anorexic, I was never bulimic, but I know. I know that I have an eating disorder. I didn't feel hunger. I remembered this, and I was just talking to my cousin about this. I was with a friend one day, and we were out shopping, and she said, Mindy, I am so starving. Are you hungry? And I said, hungry? I didn't even know what hunger felt like because I was always, always depriving myself. And my cousin said the same thing just now. It's like a family of, and that's on my husband's side, but it's a family of eating disorder women. I think it's much more prevalent than we even realize. But at any rate, that's my goal is that I learn moderation and, I can do this diet because it's very, it's limited. It's pretty limiting. I enjoy my food. It's not that. I really enjoy everything that we're eating. It's just that once I go off, my tendency, not during the week, but on the weekends, is to go crazy. So, and when I say go crazy, I don't mean like, other people. I mean like me, that, I have too much of a good thing. And that's what I want to change is that, all or nothing kind of attitude and
yeah,
really
let me,
just become moderate all the time is my intention. And I really, in terms of this program, I could really use some guidance as to maybe some guidelines about moderation. Like how do you kind of go off the quote unquote this lifestyle change? I don't want to say diet because Gwen doesn't like me to say diet. Um, but how do I make a lifestyle change that's not just Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday and then another way on the weekends? I just want to eat the same all the time and still have a good time.
yeah, well, we want you to have a good time. And It's actually not limiting once you get into maintenance because you're allowed fat, you're allowed the foods that you were eating, that you weren't supposed to be eating, it's not just you. A lot of people in the program were eating foods that weren't on the lists, but you can eat those in maintenance.
Right.
Like, and you've seen
Salmon. I can't
salmon.
wait for salmon.
Yeah, that's one of the best. Salmon, sardines. I just did a post today about DHA, the omega-3s that are so important to have in your diet. So it was this 6 weeks, which ends in a week, was not to, I mean, it was to reset. It was for you to release the fat and the toxins that had accumulated. And you've done a good job of that. I mean, I saw you
That's
today.
the easy part for me.
It was easy for the past 5 weeks.
Easier than going off. Oh, 1000%. 1000% easier.
Easier than going off. Explain. I don't understand what you're saying.
I don't know.
Because then I'm going to have to implement moderation.
No, just stick to the same way of eating. Just increase, just add a few more foods in.
Yeah, you're adding fat in,
I
and
know, but I can't explain it. I know it, I know you guys don't understand. I have to get more clear. I have to
well,
get more clear.
what you're describing is a problem many, many women have.
Yeah.
And
I
I
have it.
eating disorders. So we eat when we have emotions that we
Yeah.
don't otherwise process. So we use food, okay? And it's
Yeah.
no judgment here. Like we've all done it. We've all done it. So,
Yeah.
we talk about emotional eating in a couple weeks and
Yeah.
ways to manage it. And, it doesn't always go away. It's a matter of, dealing with your emotions in other ways. And then you don't need
Yeah.
to use food to do that. So, I know it's very common, believe me.
Yeah. But it's much, much, much easier to be on a prescribed regimen.
Well, really what it is, Mindy, is it's listening to your body. And that's why this isn't just a diet, it's a lifestyle because when you slow down and you chew a lot and you do breath work before your meals and you don't over exercise and you have some, time to yourself, whether it's journaling, meditating, whatever it is, walking, then you're able to tune in. You're able to tune in.
It's not true because I do all of those other things. I'm completely tuned in. I'm relaxed. It's just a pattern that's so inherent in my being since I'm 13 years old. Really, and that's what I've discovered through being through this. I'm not saying that this program hasn't helped me. This program made me aware that I have an eating disorder. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's not just emotional eating, it's deeper than that. It's a pattern it that's ingrained in every cell of my body that has also affected my metabolism, unfortunately. So, and I meditate. I don't happen to be journaling, but I meditate consistently. I do breath work consistently. I have space for myself. I created a
What do you do different on weekends that you don't do during the weekday?
good question. I go out with friends. I do not go out with friends during the week.
Is it eating or drinking?
Oh,
Both.
oh, yeah. So do any of your friends watch what they eat, or do they just eat whatever they want and drink whatever they want?
Correct.
Okay.
The latter.
So that's interesting because we are the five people we surround ourselves with mostly. We're going to pick up on those habits. So
Yeah.
that's another thing just to be aware of.
And I am, and they think I'm crazy,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, look at you. You're crazy. You feel the best you have since you're in your 30s now, pushing 70. And I saw you today. I haven't seen you in a while at the gym, and you looked like you did when you finished the first program. You look amazing. You look very fit, and I've seen you've lost that excess weight you were carrying.
And
So
inflammation, as we all probably
right.
have.
So, friends sometimes are people who aren't doing what we're doing. They're not going to be supportive, or they're not maybe going to notice the strides that you've made, but you know that. You know what the
Yeah,
strides
of
are.
course, of course.
So,
I feel good about it, you know. Well, my husband, I mean, I don't know how you guys are, how the people around you feel, but my husband thinks that this is was harder for him than for me.
why?
Well, because he thinks that I'm obsessive, which I probably am. He has to cut off my discussion around food, so I don't talk to him about it too, I have to hold my tongue. But he watches me weigh my food and he thinks it's obsessive, you know. So what can I tell you? For other people, and once again, maybe it's just my experience. I'm just speaking for me, but
Yeah. Well, what I will suggest then is you focus on the positive. You've made tremendous strides. You're feeling really good. And that ultimately is the evidence. You said you're sleeping better. You don't have GERD
everything.
anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have inflammation, joint pain. So that's the evidence you have to go on. And you are capable of feeling like that every single day. If in here, you're going to tell yourself that every single day, and your actions match how you want to feel like that. And I mean, I know that's simplifying it, but it's a
Yeah.
choice that you make every single
I
day.
I I 100% agree with you and
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
intellectually.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But
Well,
thank you all for listening.
yeah, well, thank you for sharing all of that. I mean, it's not uncommon, many women think similarly. And yeah, that's why you could think you have it dialed in, but you have to deal. You have to deal with the emotions perpetually, like always, like, maybe in different ways or try different things. But yes, it goes back. There are strong psychological roots and trauma roots, and I get that. But we get it. We have a choice, and that's what gives us our power back. We have a choice to make every single day. And whether you're going to prepare yourself for success and continuing to feel how great you're feeling right now is up to you. It's totally up to you and what you do from here on in.
Yeah, no, it's true. And you're absolutely right. And I know what you're saying is 100% true. And I could use, so now what Stephanie said is you're just going to stay on the maintenance. That's it forever.
Not forever. I mean, I go off once in a while. I'll go out to brunch at, 9:30, 10 occasionally, and I'll have, like sometimes a treat in the middle of the afternoon. I'm not 100%, but if you follow it like 80% of the time, the place people trip up, including myself, is when you get into a habit that you're going to be incorporating every day. For example, I like sourdough bread once in a while, but I'll buy an amazing sourdough bread with walnuts and raisins, and I'll slice it up and put it in my freezer, and then I'll eat it every day for 2 weeks, like with eggs or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I notice my love handles coming back. So you want to be able to enjoy food, and see how you feel with it, but when you start incorporating things that were not principles of the program, how you change your metabolism, how you release weight, if you're going to do those things every day, and this, you're going to creep back up to where you were before.
And it
So
was amazing because Monday through Friday,
Yes, but if you overindulge, what you're doing on weekends is you're taxing your liver, you're taxing your detox pathways, you're making it harder for your body to to function. And when your body is busy trying to detox and things are blocked, you're going to put that weight right back on because your body's not safe. You're not safe. Your nervous system is telling you there's something, there's danger here. I'm going to hold on to that weight to protect you.
Right, 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 right.
So,
And I think the key to one thing I do know is I started going up in weight when I stopped weighing myself.
okay, well, for everybody, they have to decide. Some people are not even weighing themselves every day in the program, and it's
Oh,
hard for me to see what's going on. But I understand if you travel, or some people have issues with weighing themselves every day. In the past groups too, you know, the eating history of eating disorders, and that's just very triggering. And I get it. And you don't need. The only reason I like to see a weight every day is so that I could see what's happening. Are you plateauing for 4 or 5 days in a row?
right.
Are you, you know, and people are cheating. I got to say, each group is different. This group, I think every single person pretty much has cheated, which means that you're eating foods that aren't on the allowed lists. Okay. Whether it's fish that's too fatty or grapes or dried fruit, which has a lot of sugar, or eggs that aren't allowed in this phase. Eggs is an amazing food if you can tolerate them, and the fat is so, so healthy, but it's not allowed now because you're trying to use your own fat stores, not bring in other fat. And I can go on and on. There's other examples. So it's really interesting that this group, you know, has gone off. And not to say you're not making great strides, because many of you are, and you've all released, as I said in the beginning, you've all released, and all the people going through this for the first time have released probably between like 13 and 17 pounds. And you're feeling a lot better, which is amazing. But when you do that, you're not showing yourself what you're capable of doing in those 6 weeks, because then you're shifting back to holding on to fat. So, but you know, the progress is great. People have made great strides. I think you're all better off than you were in the very beginning, and you will be. We still have 5 weeks to go. And just because we enter maintenance and add back fats and then we add back starchy vegetables does not mean you're going to stop and go backwards. People continue to lose weight because this is what feeds your body, nourishes your body. People still lose weight in maintenance. And even after the program ends, some people still do. So,
I lost more. I lost like an additional the last time, I think an additional 10 pounds during maintenance.
yes, that's what I'm
The
saying. So,
last time.
yeah, because your body is still resetting. So that's why it's important to follow the plan. There's a reason thousands and thousands of people have been through this type of program, because it works. It works for resetting, it works for making you a fat burner, which is more energy efficient. It works at all the things we're talking about. So, yeah, we're going to talk more about maintenance in coming weeks when we get there. But yeah, you're all doing really well. It's just hang in there and continue to follow the plan. Um, and yeah, it's good to share all of this and know that you're not
Yeah.
alone. I mean, whatever you're expressing, I'm sure other people are feeling too.
Yeah.
So thank you
Thank
for
you. And
that.
thanks for listening.
Of course. Hi, Barry. Welcome back. I have to ask you to
Hey there.
okay. Where did you go skiing?
Um, Up north in New Hampshire, I went
Nice.
to, haven't skied in a few years and have my new hip, and my son likes to snowboard, and it was just like, let's just do it. And I kept the whole way, I was like, am I really doing this? Like I was even trying to get him there, but I wasn't sure I'd get on skis. I didn't know if I felt safe, but I did. And we had fun and it was nice out. It wasn't too cold, so we could do a bunch of runs. And but I was saying to Wynne on the app, on Saturday, I had packed in my cooler like the food. I went out to a restaurant the night before, but I ate like approximately the right amount of steak, and I had a big pile of broccoli, probably more than I was supposed to, but I was eating the right food, which that alone for me is that's
Yes.
um but it just tasted too good to eat just a little. And I didn't have a way to take that food and store it. So, because I was staying in a little inn. So that was the end of that. And then I had some food I'd brought from home in my little cooler bag. And I was going to bring that in for lunch the next day. Well, the inn came with this delicious breakfast
Oh no.
part of the cost of the room, like it was kind of an expensive room for me. And I was like, oh, well, that makes it. So, anyways, that I got a little tripped up at breakfast. I still did okay with picking the vegetables, but I added eggs in where I normally obviously wouldn't have been
Yeah.
having eggs. That was okay. But the afternoon, I didn't bring my cooler in and my legs hurt and I didn't want to go out to the car. And I was like, I'll just wait. It's going to be 4 o'clock. I'll be able to wait because I had eaten earlier in the day, too early. And I walked into this lodge where I grew up. My family grew up skiing there. And the first thing I smelled was the hot chocolate and the chocolate chip cookies. So I walk into the eating area because my son was doing extra runs. So I went in to I was going in to get my black coffee and I had a water. And I looked around the kitchen to see, like, is there like a piece of meat, maybe something of a vegetable, just something. Nothing. Like everything was fried. It smelled so good. And I looked in, I picked up the cookie. I'm like, I'll eat half and give the other half to Justin. That's all right. That's just a half a cookie because that's like the only sweet I've eaten all this time, which
Wow.
I know it's a program and I've been very committed to it, but like the fact that that was the only slip was like for me
Yeah.
like a huge deal. And I ate the whole cookie. And since then, I gained 2 pounds. Um, I ate the right dinner that night. Like I went home that night and ate the right food just to get back into the protein and vegetable groove. And I haven't really felt that great since, but I had gained the weight and I had GERD that next night. And I haven't had it this whole time. So to your point, Wynne, like in a way, it was almost kind of like a really good realization that like it just takes that little bit. Cause in my mind, that was like no big deal. Like that was no big deal. But it just took that little bit of, kind of like cheating on myself. It's almost like, I was being kind of,
Mhm.
but I also felt like it's all right. I'm gonna deal with this because that was like an emotional thing. There was a lot emotional about it. Even being able to be on a mountain skiing with my son was emotional. So there's a lot emotional. My dad's really starting to fail, and I left him to go up there. So like a lot of emotional stuff's going on. So I'm not like beating myself up or anything, but it was such a funny like because right when we got in the car to go skiing, I said I weighed myself and I was down, I guess 19 pounds altogether. So
Wow.
so I got in the car and I'm like, Justin, and I was telling him like, I just got off the scale. I've lost 19 pounds. I was all excited. And I got home and yesterday morning, yeah, when I weighed myself, I was like, Jesus. It's just an interesting,
Yes, and again, don't beat up on yourself. But just recognize there's so many emotions going on. Even the fact that this is where you grew up and your family skied,
mm,
that in itself brings whatever emotions and you wanting to comfort yourself in some way.
those
And
cookies tasted the same. Like it was like the same cookie it's been for 40
right.
years.
And it's not to say you can never have cookies again, because believe
No,
me, I bake cookies. I do every now and then. I put them in the freezer. Sometimes I eat one a day after I have a good batch. But you want to choose the good ingredients, the flour made in Italy, and if you're going to put oats in it, you want the gluten-free oats. Like when I put chocolate chips in things, it's just a few. It's just a smattering, and I find that I don't really want more than that. But
yeah,
and then the sugar, you could use honey, or you could, like, there's ways to get around it, but
yeah.
that's not the point. The point is, I want you to recognize the emotions, like
Mm,
being with
mhm,
your son the first time since your hip
mm,
surgery. That's
mm.
huge. Do
Yeah,
you know how ballsy that is to get on skis again after that?
thought so. And my ski pants fit, you guys. And I didn't even try them on.
Yay!
I didn't try them on before I left. Because
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, you're gonna be wearing your leggings if these things don't fit. Like I was like just winging it. When I got up that morning, I put them on and I snapped them and I go, whoa, that was nice. Those fit.
Cool.
Yeah.
there was a lot of highs and lows of the whole thing. But I wanted to say something about what you were talking about before, because so I'm in recovery. I'm an alcoholic. I'm in recovery. Been in recovery 35 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's kind of for me, to your point, um, it's kind of for me like abstinence. Like I can't have a drink. I just cannot have a drink. Now, could I have a drink in safety? Maybe. But why would I even take that chance? Because then it would be in my head. And then I'd have, then I'd do a number on myself,
Sure.
right? So it's the same thing for me with sugar, because I've done successfully with no sugar
Yeah.
and no flour and carbs, like no pasta, no potatoes for years, and felt like $1,000,000 for years. But it was just like this thing where, I went into the North End, I had a dessert. Oh my God, that was so good. I don't know what got me going, but it reminds me of addiction to alcohol.
Yeah.
It's like you start they talk about it being a mental obsession and physical compulsion. And I think once yeah, it's dangerous. So
Well,
I'm so glad that this is set,
you must have had to really, it's that's really interesting, your analogy, because I think it's the same. I agree
It
with you.
is. It
It's
is.
the same.
And in OA, they give you a food plan. I never went to OA. I refused because I wasn't going to eat that food plan no matter what. I'd suffer with weight before I was going to do that. Because it's not abstinence. Alcohol, abstinence. Kind of sucks sometimes, but food, you're eating all the time. The
Right.
people are eating all around you all the time. You can't escape food. You can't escape drinking. You cannot escape.
Yes. That's
Well, you actually,
exactly it, what you're talking
well,
about.
no, but I'm going to
Abstinence
interrupt
is
here.
easy.
What's that?
Abstinence is easy.
Well,
Yeah.
think about the intermittent fasting. You're not around food all the time. You're not eating all the time. That is help. We went through the 10 reasons why intermittent fasting is so good for you.
No, but we're intermittent fasting, but the world isn't.
Well, more and more people are actually.
Yeah. I've
Look
been
at
doing
how
it for a long
sick the
time. I love
world
intermittent
is.
fasting. But
But
no, I love it.
Wynne, I think what Barry is saying is the same, is
Yeah.
is sort of the same thing. It's like the abstinence when we are going to intermittent fast, let's say. I'm fine with that. No food. I don't have to look at food. I don't have to think about food for all of those hours. Easy peasy.
Right. Yeah. No,
It,
I hear what you're saying. I
yeah.
do. And I also want to say that it's a matter of moderation, because for example, when you'll see when you add back, like some carbs are really important for your body to feed the microbiome. You can't just go without carbs. So you need like inulin, you need complex carbs to feed the good bacteria in your gut, to strengthen your immune system, to make your digestion work. So it's not like never am I going to eat, but it's targeted. Okay. So we talk about, small amounts. So, you're going to cook your rice and you're going to cook your potatoes and you're going to let them cool. So the starch changes, so your it's healthier for your body. So next you're gonna cool it, put it in the fridge, and then heat it up next time, or 6 hours you let it cool. So I'm just throwing that out at you because it's not about abstaining from things forever. It's about learning how to incorporate them into a balanced, healthy diet with you being okay with that. And I get there's a lot of it psychological stuff, and I hear what you're saying about addiction. I do. So all in all,
What's
I'm
just
sorry.
a real quick question? What's an example of the starches you're talking about, though?
Well, we're going to start with the first starches we talk about are the root vegetables, like beets, turnips, parsnips. Like those are delicious, and you can roast those. You can throw them in soups. I'm sorry. Oh, here, Mindy, I'm gonna mute Mindy. Okay. So you're gonna start, well, first we're gonna get into this next time because I do want to talk about breath today, but you're gonna start with fat and you have another week. So next Tuesday, I believe it is when you're gonna add back your first fat. And I'll put this information in the group chat. So for the first 5 days or so, you're gonna add back one fat a day. And it's gonna be the healthy fats, like a tablespoon of olive oil or a third to half of an avocado or olives, a handful of nuts if you want, but it can only be like a handful. So you want to do that starting once a day, and then you can up it to at each of the 2 meals. And after seeing how you tolerate different fats for 5 days, then you're going to start with the root vegetables, or the beets, the turnips, the parsnips, in small amounts. And at
Hmm.
that point, you can add sweet potato too. But I would do just like 4 ounces at the most.
Yeah.
And then eventually you can do other potatoes because potatoes are really healthy for you. And then lastly, you're going to do, you can add back some rice as well, but small. Like you're still going to focus on the vegetables and the free vegetables, the non-free vegetables. You're going to have your protein and your fat, and then you're going to have a small carb.
Okay, good. I just was wondering what you called carbs. So
Yeah.
I think of most of what you just said as vegetables. Anyways, thank you.
Oh, so what do you think? You're thinking about bread or
Bread, pasta, all that stuff. That's the
yeah,
stuff.
well, sourdough bread is the best to have, and you want to limit it.
One more question. I'm sorry I keep doing this to you.
It's
And I'm sorry
okay.
also for being late. I go to a family support group meeting before this that goes
No
till
worries. No
30.
worries.
So, what was I going to say? Oh, is it true that if you freeze bread, it changes and then use the bread that you've frozen, it changes?
Well, it sounds like the same principle as cooling the rice and cooling the
Yeah.
potato.
Okay. I just heard about that recently, that if you freeze it and use it, it doesn't have the same effect. And it
Yeah,
doesn't have eating bread. I just was
I'm
curious about that.
yeah, I'm gonna have to research that, and I'm wondering if sourdough bread is even better. I know it's better like than wheat because it's fermented.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a very good question. I'll check into that. But again, you don't want to eat it every day. Maybe as a treat initially, like once a week or twice a week.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. All right. This is all really good stuff. And you don't want to feel deprived because food is a joyous part of life and it's nurturing. So you have to learn how to nurture yourself with it and be okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. I wanted to get to a little bit of the breath module because it is so, so important. But first, I wanted to do a breath exercise called diaphragmatic pump. What is your stress level, both of you, right now?
I'm pretty low right now. 3.
3? Okay. Let's just do this for a couple minutes and then we'll dive into into some talking about breath. Okay. Okay, so sit back, feet on the floor, support your back, feel your body melt into your chair. If you want, you can close your eyes, sit up straight. Okay, you're going to take a natural breath in through the nose, expanding your abdomen, rib cage, chest, and shoulders. Take a deep breath in and gently let it out through your nose or mouth, whichever you prefer. Okay, next you're going to create room for your organs to move upward, and that's when you take that big breath in. So you're going to take another deep breath in and filling up your abdomen again. And then actually, as you exhale, you're going to count to 10 as many times as you can until you have nothing else to let out. Okay, so we're going to do that several times. So here we go. Take a deep breath in, feeling it go all the way up from your abdomen, up through your chest, your lungs. Hold it. And as you exhale, count to 10 as many times as you can, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you could go more, go more. And when you've let it all out, hold that and sit up nice and straight. And we're going to do it again. So you're going to breathe in through your nose. Fill as much air as you can. Suck in your stomach and hold your stomach as tight as you can and feel your abdomen getting pulled up and in. That breath all the way in, hold it. And when you can't hold it anymore, take a nice deep breath in through the nose and let that diaphragm move up, and then let it go and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep going. And when you're all depleted of air, take one deep breath in and blow it all out. Okay, when you're ready, you can open up your eyes. What is your stress level now?
1 to 2.
Changed to a 1? Good. You went from a 3 to a 1. That's awesome. Mindy, we didn't check in. We didn't ask what yours. Oh, you're on mute. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
I wasn't really stressed before, but I definitely enjoyed the breathing. So
Okay. All right. Well, that's another one to add to your repertoire. It really helps you get rid of that air. And so that brings us to a little discussion. We have a few minutes here to talk about breath and how important it is. Did anybody get a chance to watch the modules at all on breath? Okay. Don't forget, you can always read the PDF as well. And so the reason why breath is so important is because it's actually the power switch to your autonomic nervous system, which we've been trying to calm down this entire course, right? And the reason it's so important is because when you calm it down, you're activating your immune response and you're restoring your health. So actually changing your breath will help you lose weight and live longer. And this has been shown in the studies. So if you saw information in this module, there's that book called Breath by James Nestor. And what he did, has anybody read it before? Okay, so what he did is he and a friend went to a lab and they did it very scientifically, and they had nose plugs put in their noses for 3 weeks, which meant that they could no longer breathe through their nose. They had to breathe through their mouth for 3 weeks, and all indices of health were checked. It was done in a laboratory setting. And what they found after 3 weeks of mouth breathing, their health went to pot. It declined in so many ways, really unhealthy ways. And then they removed the nose plugs and they started breathing through their mouth. And within a few weeks, they were able to reverse all of that. So this is why it is so important to breathe through your nose and not breathe through your mouth. And what's also really important is the proper tongue positioning. So you want your tongue to be up against the roof of your mouth, pushing your front teeth like this. And there's actually a really good exercise called, hold on, let me pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah. Yeah, the buzz breath. And that we want to increase nitric oxide, and I'll tell you why in a couple minutes. But this buzz breath increases nitric oxide by 1,500%. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. Let me share my screen. Okay. And when you increase nitric oxide by over 1,500%, you're killing off viruses just by breathing through your nose. And so what you want to do is hum like a bee, buzz breath. So put your tongue on the roof of your mouth. And one of the reasons why this works so well is because you're activating your vagus nerve, which controls your nervous system. So you want to put your tongue on the roof of your mouth and you're going to hum like a bee. You're going to go, so everybody do that. You can even feel it. Do you feel that vibration? Okay, so you want to do that as much as you can throughout the day. That will stimulate your vagus nerve. Okay, hold on 1 second. Yeah. And I'm just going to pull this up because I was going to read a lot of this, but we don't have a ton of time, but I want to go through the most important points. So we breathe like 23,000 times a day, whether you realize it or not. And as I said, breath is the power to your autonomic nervous system, activates our immune system and our health. So being conscious of the way you breathe and making sure you're breathing through your nose will positively affect your health. And this statistic is pretty fascinating that 90% of people breathe incorrectly, and this causes and perpetuates chronic diseases. Okay, so when you're breathing in through your nose, you're allowing the hairs in your nose to purify, moisturize, temperature regulate, and pressurize the air. Recapturing moisture, which hydrates us. So for example, if you're getting up in the middle of the night to pee a lot, chances are you're dehydrated, or you're not, chances are you're mouth breathing. Because if you are breathing through your nose, you're allowing hydration to happen, and your bladder won't feel the need to release urine. So pay attention to that. Your tongue is a postural muscle. It's the strongest muscle in the body, believe it or not. And it's very important for posture. And we talk a lot about this in the module. I'll try to touch on it, but I want to move along because we don't have that much time. So as you go through your day, be really conscious, like even when you're driving in the car, where is your tongue positioned? Is it up against the roof of your mouth? Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, and I realize my tongue is on the roof of my mouth. And I'm really happy about that because that's where it should be. Has anybody tried mouth taping? Does anybody think they're a mouth breather at night?
I probably am.
Okay.
I wake
So,
up with more of a clenched jaw situation, so I'm usually pretty convinced that my mouth is shut and I'm breathing
okay.
through my nose.
Yeah, and that could cause other things because I've done that too, like with chipping of the teeth and grinding and all that. Have you talked to your dentist about that?
Yeah, and it's a lot better than it used to be. I
Good.
used to have more problems with it. My jaw's been fine, but I still do know that when I wake up, I'm more of a clench, I have more than a clench than a,
Yeah,
open mouth.
yeah, interesting.
I
So if
have
you
a
haven't tried,
deviated septum, so that's why.
yeah. Well, if you
Listen,
haven't tried mouth tape, though, I would definitely try it. I did it when I went through this program. It helped me tremendously. At that point, I was wearing an Aura ring, and it showed me how my heart rate variability got so much better when I was sleeping, when I wore the mouth tape. It really makes a huge difference. And at first, it sounds kind of scary, but I got over that within a day. And it really, really can help your sleep and your health. Now, the mouth tape I recommend is from 3M, and you can get it on Amazon just for a few dollars. However, since then, I've seen on Instagram a bunch of companies that have safer mouth tape, because the 3M does have like glue on it that's kind of, it's probably not the best for you. What I do is, if I have the 3M, I put it on my hand and pull it off a few times so that the glue comes off, and then I put it right down here like an inch and a half. And then I peel it off and I put it on my night table on like a jar of some moisturizer, and I keep reusing it. So that's just an idea. If you want to try that, it's most people who have used mouth tape have really, really shown that sleep becomes much, much better, and of course their health. So I'll look I'll search on Instagram. I know once you put in there that you're looking for that, you'll get 5 things pop up from companies that make healthier mouth tape. So I'll check that out and put it in the chat. Okay. And the other thing again that we talked about, nitric oxide, it's so, so important. And the reason that nose breathing increases nitric oxide is it increases the vasodilation in your lungs, and the widening of the blood vessels, and increases your circulation basically. And when you're increasing your circulation, you allow your blood to flow more, and then nutrients to move throughout your blood, and oxygen allows oxygen to get to every part of your body. And that's what happens when nitric oxide increases. If you have heart disease or diabetes, even men who have erectile dysfunction, they have an inability to produce the right amount of nitric oxide. Excuse me one sec, my computer needs to be plugged in. I have the cord right here. Uh-oh. You guys there?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, I was hoping it would give me enough time to plug it in. And so 5 ways to increase nitric oxide naturally is to eat vegetables that are high in nitrates, such as celery, watercress, chervil, lettuce, beetroot, spinach, and arugula. Excuse me, I just had an arugula salad today that was so good. And you want to increase your antioxidants. So you get that from fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and grains. You can, another thing that interferes with nitric oxide production, this is important, is regular mouthwash, because it kills bacteria that makes nitric oxide, and actually it can increase blood pressure. So none of those Crest or whatever green blue mouthwashes. I actually make my own mouthwash. I may have shared this before, with alkaline silver, and I add distilled water, and I put in peppermint oil. And I put it in a big glass jar, and I, have a little bit in the morning, at night, whenever I feel like I need it. If you guys want me to put that recipe in the chat, let me know. I can give you my source of silver, and I'll put in the chat anyway, because that's a healthy alternative, and it's really easy to do. Okay. And did you know the greatest predictor of lifespan is your lung capacity? And when you're breathing through your nose, you're increasing your lung capacity. Okay. All right. So if you watch the videos, it shows that the causes of improper breathing are largely due to, even when kids start out as babies, when you're not gripping correctly. So maybe a bottle and not like latching onto the breast correctly, or thumb sucking, or eating soft foods does not allow for the jaw to form properly. So that's why, like, a lot of people come into this program eating a lot of smoothies and soft foods. And I'm trying to drive home the point that you need to chew. You need to chew food. You need it for your mouth, your postural structure in your mouth, and that holds up your neck and your shoulders and all that. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff in the videos in the module. Okay, so let me move on from there. We talk about this. We did this part. Okay, so let me just hold on one second. Let me see what else I wanted to go over here. Yeah, this is you'll see I talk about the jaw. This is an overview. I can go through that next week. We talked about the diaphragmatic pump. That's the breath exercise we did, the buzz breath. So try to incorporate the buzz breath.
Yeah. Yeah, make it. We'll have it. Yeah.
Not all.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a picture of me when I did the reset, and see, it's before my hair got all gray. I was just starting. That was 3 years ago. I actually have been forgetting to mention that because well, Stephanie, it goes natural too with her hair, but that's when I decided to go natural, because in the instruction manual for the reset, it actually says to don't dye your hair. And I took it literally. And that's when I made the leap to go my natural color. So anyway, not everybody is ready to do that, and I get it, but I went all out. I went all out. But anyway, that's me with the mouth tape over my mouth, and you're increasing nitric oxide. Your dreams can become more lucid, and you can lower blood pressure and increase healing. It's really pretty amazing. Let's see what else I got here for you guys. Oh, we talked about that already. Talked about that. Yeah, I talked about what nose breathing does. It recaptures the moisture, which is a big one we talked about, because how many of us get up and pee in the middle of the night? You know, I have clients, they write, they're getting up 3 times, 5 times. If you're breathing through your nose, that should lessen. And that's one of the reasons why sleep improves and rest. You feel more rested in the morning because you're able to recapture that moisture. If your mouth is open, you're losing a lot of water through your mouth. And that's the #1 cause of cavities also, is mouth breathing. It's not the sugar you're eating, it's mouth breathing, because there's no filter for the bacteria that's going to come in your mouth. Whereas when it goes through your nose, there's the villi, there's the hairs in your nose that filter out all those things. So that's something to keep in mind. Mouth tape, yeah. So this is what Jane Nestor said in his book: no matter what you eat, how much you exercise, how skinny or young or strong you are, none of it matters if you're not breathing properly. And I mean, I've gone to master classes, webinars that for an hour and a half, they talk about the importance of breathing. Where I learned how to teach this program, they're really, really big on breath. I went to a webinar, I went to a conference back in September, and they started it off in the morning with breath work and making sure we're breathing through our noses. So it's that important. And when you don't breathe properly, yeah, you get all these changes, these physiological changes, mood, focus. You're sympathetic dominant rather than parasympathetic, respiratory problems, cardiovascular problems, lymphatic problems. You're not moving the toxins through you.
Back pain, neck pain too.
Neck pain?
Back pain and neck pain too, yeah.
Yeah, why don't you speak to that, since you're the expert?
Yeah, I mean, just the oxygenation. We need it just to keep everything, the whole nervous system strong.
Right.
I have patients who come to me, new patients, and they'll say, "Oh, my physical therapist told me I'm not breathing properly, and that's why I have the pain." I'm like, that is one of the reasons. If you're not oxygenating the body, none of it works properly.
Exactly. Or producing that nitric oxide, which is
Yeah.
so crucial. It's the same thing. Yep, absolutely. And most people, like, we're not taught how to breathe properly. In one of the videos, is it's fascinating. I'll usually mention this, is the Eskimos they're little babies. They put them on the sleds, that they pull through the snow, and they prop up their heads like so they're these tiny babies swaddled because it's freezing out, and they're put on these sleds, and their heads are propped up with a pillow so that they can breathe through their nose. It's pretty fascinating, and they don't have a lot of dental caries or issues because of the way they're breathing properly. It's pretty interesting.
Women especially, we don't want our stomachs to stick out, so we don't breathe properly. We breathe more shallow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so important to breathe. Breathe in the air and breathe it out. Yeah, and I talked about mouth breathing being the #1 cause of cavities and periodontal disease. Mouth breathing also increases insulin resistance and blood sugar. Gets up at night to urinate. Nasal congestion. Believe it or not, it sounds like it would be the opposite, right? But when you're breathing through your mouth, you're bringing in all this bacteria. And people who have obstructive sleep apnea, it's resulted in that because of mouth breathing largely. And it brings bad breath because of all the bacteria in there as well. Yeah, we talked about this, and okay, the mewing exercises, we kind of talked about that. I think we hit on everything. Let me just check these last couple slides. That's the book. It's pretty fascinating to read. If any of you wanted to read about breath and why it's so important to breathe properly through your nose. It was pretty amazing because most of us are not taught that. And you also, want to be calm and present. And that's huge as it relates to shifting to the parasympathetic mode as well. Okay, well, that was a lot, but if you watch the videos or even the PDF at the end, it will review all of this. So who wants to try the mouth tape? Does anybody want to try it? Yeah, Barry. Okay. Mindy, are you going to try it? No? Hold on, you're on mute.
I have a deviated septum, which they wanted to do surgery on. I've had it my whole life also. So, but what I've noticed on the diet, of course, is that because the inflammation is going away, that I'm able to breathe more effectively. One side of my nose is almost completely occluded. So it's a situation, and I'm having difficulty doing the surgery because it's it's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It's an aggressive, it's an invasive surgery.
right,
They have to break your nose and
right.
anyway, that I've just been able to breathe better because of the diet. So I'm just enjoying that, and I keep the window open, and I am going to become more aware of where my tongue is because I never thought about that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, as your comfort level, maybe down the road, because you have lost a lot of inflammation. So
Yeah.
if you ever want to try it down the road, it's not going to hurt you to try it one time and see how it goes. But
Mm.
up to you. Barry, I'll look for those other companies that sell healthier mouth tape online.
I had ordered the ones that look like lips. I just haven't tried them yet. They're cute
Oh,
on Amazon.
oh,
Probably end up with some sort of glue infection, but I'm gonna give them a try.
yeah. So again, like put it on your hand and rip it off a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it gets absorbed through your skin, which isn't great. Or try something else you can put it on and just rip it off a few
Yeah.
times and lessen the glue. And in the meantime, I'm sure now that I'm even saying this, we're watched with everything. So I'm sure some of these companies are going to pop up on my
Well, I'll be getting advertisements right after this meeting.
Yeah.
I'll send you a
Right.
picture if I can. I put them in the drawer, so I'm going to pull them out tonight and I'll send you a picture just
Yeah, do
so we
send
can
that.
laugh. Yeah.
Right. Okay, ladies, great stuff this week. You guys are all really progressing nicely. You know, despite the setbacks, overall, you're in a lot better shape than you were in the beginning, and you're learning a ton, which is so important. And yeah, so this week, extremely important. We're going to talk about toxins next week. Make sure there's a list that comes with it, a list that's great to keep out going forward, because you're going to try to check off things off the list as you incorporate removing toxins from your life. So we'll talk about that next week. Next week, I'm probably going to end 15 minutes early because it is my birthday. My kids,
Birthday.
Oh, happy pre-birthday.
thank you. And my kids could only get a 6 o'clock reservation. So anyway, we'll have 45 minutes, and I really love that module because there's so much we can do to reduce toxins, and they're bombarding us from everywhere.
And
So
you also mentioned when is that you're going to give us the steps, because I know we can, next week we'll end the diet. So we're
next
moving into
Tuesday.
the maintenance
Yeah,
phase,
yeah,
the
I'll put
day,
it, I'll put
not
it's in the,
day, actually. So maybe you could post it, the
yeah.
guidelines, like how to use, because Monday morning or Monday afternoon, whenever you eat your lunch, will be
No, it's
maybe
actually
adding something.
I think Tuesday's the last day. I think Tuesday will be the first day that you add back.
Okay.
But it's in the manual, but I will drop it in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, the same
Again.
thing that's in the manual you're going to drop in, because you had mentioned something about adding things in slowly,
Yeah,
like you.
it talks about that in the
Yes.
manual, but I will,
Yes.
I think I have a sheet where I summarize it, so I'll drop that in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and we'll talk about that again next Monday
Okay.
night. Okay. All right, guys, keep going. One more week before you have back that delicious salmon or whatever you're going to choose. So
On
have a
right.
great week. Continue
You
to
too.
engage in the chat, and please fill all the cells in your journal so I can see what you're up to.
Night,
Okay.
everybody.
Have a great
Everybody.
night.
Good
Thanks.
night.
Bye.